Welcome, Watchers of Illusion, to my Castle of Confusion, and there's something a little bit special to take you into the weekend. It's called White Jaguar, and it's a brand new game on the ZX Spectrum, and it's a bit of a beauty from what I can see so far. Basic premise, you play as it's a Native American or Native Indian, I think. I can't remember the actual right terminology, so I do apologise if I've got that wrong. But yeah, so you play as this Indian guy. And you have a selection of tomahawks. I say selection of, you've got one tomahawk, but you need to get a plethora of them in your inventory. So we'll run through all that as we go along, but we'll start off as normal with the graphics of the game. Now, it's very, very pretty. There's a lot going on the screen at once, so use your eyes. I can't really... Well, I'm going to sort of slow down and do stuff and look at it as I play. But graphically, so far, it's really, really nice. I say lots going on the screen at the moment, and you can see here that there's a lot of animation going on as well. You've got the grass blowing in the breeze. You've got that look at the skyline in the background. You've got those pit spikes jumping up and down at the bottom. There is just so much going on, very, very busy, and it doesn't overly affect the frame rate, which is quite an achievement for a specky game. So there are puzzles and traps and all that kind of thing that you need to be aware of as you go along, but let's have a look at the UI. So the bottom left hand corner, you can see the 3 hearts there. That is your life counter, and then you've got a lovely graphic in the middle which doesn't really represent anything other than what the game that you're playing, and then you've got your tomahawks on the right hand side. And I've got one left. So it's quite nice the fact you don't have infinite ammunition, because that would be a little bit cheaty, wouldn't it now? Now I'm going to tell you now that from what I've looked up so far is that the difficulty on this game is ridiculous. So there's probably going to be quite a few game overs, but we'll keep restarting the game. So far, so good though. But it's an absolute beauty. So much colour on the screen at once for a Spectrum game I would say this looks more like a ZX Spectrum Next game than a Spectrum game, but it's not. It's 128K ZX Spectrum. And it works on actual hardware too, folks. So if you've got a Spectrum, then go and download it. This game is free. Yes, I know, free. Shocking, right? But absolutely fantastic. Oh, okay, got to try and avoid that guy. Oh, I just randomly died. What did I die to then? That was a bit strange. Never mind. Okay, well, we'll restart and we'll explore. That's probably the best thing I'm going to do with this game, is explore. But very, very nicely presented. The animations are very good as well. The animation on the main sprite is very, very good. You've got a variety of different enemies there. Now, the one thing about this game that I do like is that once you've cleared a screen of enemies, they don't respawn. So you can, once you've cleared a screen, that's it. You're safe to explore that screen over and over again without any risk of being attacked. So that's always a nice thing in these kind of games. Because like you can see, there are a lot of enemies on the screen at once. Now, the other thing I do like is that the tomahawk does appear to be weighted, so it won't actually follow a straight trajectory either. You've got to actually chuck it, and it will sort of go downwards as the weight pulls the tomahawk down, which is great. You can see there from the other guy that just threw one at me, they are weighted. So we're going to have a plow through, and I'm going to tell you how the controls are next, because, well, they're very, very simple. You've got left, right, obviously. Up is jump, which I don't like, but that's not this game's fault. I just don't like up as jump in a regular thing. Now, I am playing this on Retro Virtual Machine, in case you wondered what I was playing this on, which is a cracking emulator for the Spectrum and Amstrad. Waiting for the brand new version of that to come out, because that looks like it's going to be the mutts nuts. But yes, I think I might have told you before, all of my original hardware is now packed away, and I review the games on emulation to preserve my hardware and original games. So yes, it is emulated. But if you fancy grabbing yourself a copy of the emulator, it is also free, and it's one of my favourite ZX Spectrum emulators of all time. Anyway, back to the game. The music is lovely, really nice, and they've crammed a lot in for 128K. They really have. If you think that 128K, most games are what, in the gigabytes these days, 128k, they've crammed a hell of a lot in here. And why is it retro, you might scream? Well, I tell you what, it's a difficult one, because I always think, and I ran straight into that, a tomahawk to the face is not a good way to start your weekend. But yeah, it's retro because, well, the way I look at it is, yes, it was released yesterday. Technically, it's a 2022 game. However, it runs on a ZX bloody Spectrum, so why shouldn't it be retro? There you go. So anything that runs on the original hardware is always going to get a thumbs up from me, and I really enjoy these indie games. They're really, really good fun. Haven't encountered many duff ones, to be quite honest with you. So these sort of games always score highly because they are bloody great, and to actually have this one released for free, you can make a donation, and I would recommend that you do, because the developer has put in a hell of a lot of time and effort into this game, as you can tell, and why shouldn't they be rewarded for their work? So go and bung them a couple of quid, does help, and hopefully we're going to see more from this developer in the future, because this game is stunning. And like I said, though, it is like rock hard. So you're going to need a little bit of patience. Something I was not born with, but I'm going to persevere, and we're just going to have a go through and see how far we can get. And I'm just going to have some fun with it. I always like seeing these new games as well, because it's interesting to see what the hardware was actually capable of, that no one actually knew what the hardware was capable of. We all thought back in the day that, the games are awesome and that we weren't going to have anything better than what we got. And yet, here we are, 2022, with games that are pushing the limits of the machines so well. And even the Amstrad, the C64, Amiga, everything's just getting pushed. And it's great because these are all the machines we grew up with, and now it's showing us a different sort of side of the machines, if you like. So the best example I can give you for the Amiga at the moment is that Pac-Land had a great remake, and well, they found a remake from that, but it didn't get finished, which was a shame because it was like arcade perfect. There's also a what if demo out there for Street Fighter 2. If the Amiga had actually utilised its hardware, or if the developers had utilised the Amiga's hardware completely, we would have got an arcade perfect version of Street Fighter as well, which I really hope they continue that game. Green Beret, that's another one that's been remastered lately, and it looks absolutely fantastic. I will be looking at that one soon, because why not? But yeah, games like this really do bring... I think they bring a new era of retro gamers in, because something like this, it might, so I think teenagers expect pretty graphics. They expect to be able to, finish these games off in seconds, and these games are not. These games were designed to last, because that's what we did. Now, I don't know what this little upgrade thing does. I've just noticed next to my tomahawks, it has actually just lit up. So I don't know whether we're going to get another weapon or something if we continue that. But you can see weapons are fairly plentiful. I've got one tomahawk left, which is going to be quite... That's quite common to be left with one. But if you can clear the screens, then it's not too bad. But you really don't want to be missing anything like that. Just lost my last tomahawk trying to attack that bat or bird or whatever it was. Now you get these little portals that you can go through. Sometimes because of the colour clashing, you've got to be careful where you are, so just do a little movement back and forth just to make sure that you know where your character is actually standing, so you don't plough yourself off into a cliff or anything like that. But it's very nicely done, and like I said, there's a lot of decent sprites as well. So the enemy sprites are really good, and everything's drawn nicely, so top notch. Music and sound is absolutely great, as you can hear the music score. If I just be quiet for a second. So there you go, really nice little soundtrack there, and I'm sure if there's any time left at the end of the review, I will pump the volume up without any sort of speaking over the top, so you can just check it out yourselves. But pop along and grab yourselves a copy of both the emulator and the game if you haven't already got an emulator, or maybe you'd like to play it on actual hardware, and why not, I say. So, just go and have a good weekend playing this game. And it's very good, and it'll keep you going, because it is, like I said, it is bloody hard. But it's it's very cleverly done, so it's not frustrating. There's a lot of things you need to learn as you're going across. There was no chance I was going to get across there without dying, but never mind. So yeah, all in all, it's a cracking game. So the playability factor is very high, and the replay value is also very high. So even if you die, you're probably going to want to get a little bit further on and find new screens and find new bits to explore and all that kind of jazz, which, you know, is good. It's a good mark of a good game when you want to come back, even if the game actually punishes you, you know, and you still want to come back and do it, and you're not losing any sleep over it, or you're not ripping your hair out or anything like that. So that's always a good thing when it comes to games. Now, the beautiful part of this is just everything ties together so well. The sounds, the controls are tight, everything works as it should. There's no, from what I can see so far, there's no bugs. But everything's just so nice, and you'll want to take a few minutes just to sort of take in what's going on the screen, because it's very busy, and it's just a joy to play. So go and grab this game. I will put a link in the description for you, so you can pop along and grab it, and you know, give a bit of love to the developers as well. You know, like I said, donate a little bit of cash. It doesn't have to be a lot, but you know, I think it's $2 or something that recommended that they for this, and I would say it's well worth its money in gold. So there you go. Go and have a go. But this has been White Jaguar on the ZX Spectrum 128K. And this has been the Retro Revival Show, taking you into the weekend, and I'll be back very soon with a brand new review. I hope you enjoyed your week and the reviews that have come out of the channel this week. There'll be plenty more coming next week, and if I get stuck for something to do this weekend, I might even churn one out over the weekend. I just don't know yet, but we shall see, shall we not? Anyway, guys, hope you have a good one. I'll see you very soon, and thanks for tuning in. Very much appreciated. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll be back very soon with a brand new game. Thanks very much, guys, and I'll catch you soon. You keep it retro, and it's bye for now. Ta-da!